If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The college football world has been thrown into absolute chaos this week after shocking reports surfaced suggesting that two of the nation's biggest quarterback stars, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, have been suspended for doping violations. Yeah, you heard that right. The rumor mill is spinning like crazy, and social media is on fire as fans try to process what could be one of the most stunning turns of events in recent college football history. These aren't just any players. We're talking about two names who've been at the center of highlight reels, Heisman chatter, and national title conversations. The alleged suspensions have sent shockwaves through locker rooms, campuses, and fan bases across the country. Both Oklahoma, where Gabriel has been leading an explosive offense, and Colorado, where Shedeur has been the face of the Deion Sanders revolution, could suddenly find themselves without their starting quarterbacks. It's the kind of drama that no one saw coming, but everyone is talking about. The question now is, what really happened, and how deep does this story go? Because if these rumors turn out to be true, the entire landscape of the college football season could be flipped upside down in a matter of days. The details, as always in these kinds of early reports, are murky. Some insiders claim that routine NCAA drug testing flagged both players during the same testing window, which only adds to the wildness of the story. Others insist that the timing is suspicious, especially considering how high-profile both quarterbacks are and how crucial the next few weeks are for their respective teams. Dillon Gabriel, known for his precise passing and leadership on the field, has been carrying Oklahoma's hopes in what many believe could be a playoff-caliber season. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, the charismatic and confident leader of Colorado, has been one of the most talked-about players in all of sports, not just for his stats, but for his personality, his swagger, and his connection to his iconic father, Coach Prime. If both are suddenly sidelined for something as serious as a doping suspension, the consequences would be massive, not only for their teams, but for the entire narrative of this college football season. Fans are desperate for clarity, but so far, all they have are whispers and speculation. The timing of this rumor couldn't be more dramatic. Just as both programs were gearing up for critical matchups that could define their seasons, this cloud of controversy suddenly appeared over their heads. Social media detectives have already started piecing together possible timelines, pointing to a series of unusual press conference delays and cryptic tweets from team insiders. Some fans even claim that both schools have quietly removed recent promotional content featuring their star quarterbacks, which only fuels the speculation. And then there's the silence. Neither program has made an official statement, which is making everyone even more nervous. In the absence of confirmation, the rumor has taken on a life of its own. It's become the perfect storm of mystery, timing, and star power. College football hasn't seen something this dramatic since the Reggie Bush scandal or the Johnny Manziel investigations. And the longer the schools stay quiet, the louder the noise becomes. Everyone wants answers, but for now, the only thing spreading faster than the rumor itself is the disbelief surrounding it. Let's be real. These two quarterbacks are more than just players. They're brands, personalities, and media magnets. Dillon Gabriel has built a reputation as one of the most disciplined and professional athletes in college sports. He's often praised for his work ethic, his humility, and his ability to keep his teammates focused in high-pressure moments. A doping suspension doesn't fit that image at all, which is why so many fans are skeptical. On the other side, Shedeur Sanders has been under the media microscope since day one, balancing the enormous expectations that come with being Deion Sanders' son. Every move he makes, every statement he gives, is dissected and debated. If this story is true, it would not only affect his NFL draft stock, but could also cast a long shadow over the entire Colorado program. That's why some analysts believe this could be more about politics, rivalry, or timing than any actual violation. Because in college football, where billions of dollars and reputations are at stake, not everything is always as it seems. Behind the scenes, sources are hinting that both schools are in full crisis management mode. Internal investigations are reportedly underway, and legal teams are already involved. For Oklahoma, losing Gabriel would mean handing the offense to a backup with little big game experience, which could derail their playoff hopes instantly. For Colorado, it would mean trying to survive without the player who is not only their quarterback, but their cultural centerpiece. Coach Prime has built an entire identity around his son's leadership and star power, so a suspension would be more than just a roster issue. It would be a brand catastrophe. Sponsors, broadcasters, and networks would all feel the impact. This is about more than football now. It's about reputation, money, and credibility. Fans are demanding transparency, but both programs seem to be walking on eggshells, trying to manage public perception while waiting for more definitive test results. Until something official comes out, everything remains speculation, but the silence itself feels deafening. Adding fuel to the fire, several media outlets have started to pick up on the story, though most are being careful not to confirm anything without official word from the NCAA or the universities involved. Still, the whispers keep getting louder, and every hour brings new insider claims and screenshots. Some fans believe this could be a coordinated smear campaign aimed at distracting or discrediting two of the most talked-about players in the country. Others think it's simply the fallout of the NCAA tightening its drug policies this season. Either way, the court of public opinion is already forming its verdicts, with fan bases clashing online in heated debates. The truth might still be a mystery, but one thing is certain. This rumor has completely taken over the college football conversation. Whether it ends up being a misunderstanding or a full-blown scandal, we're witnessing one of those moments that will be remembered for years. A story that reminds everyone just how unpredictable, dramatic, and downright crazy the world of college football can be. Now, let's talk about what happens if this rumor turns out to be true. The fallout would be enormous, maybe even historic. Imagine Oklahoma without Dillon Gabriel. Suddenly, that dynamic offense that's been lighting up scoreboards would be forced to reinvent itself overnight. The backup quarterback would have to step into the biggest shoes imaginable, with playoff hopes and national scrutiny pressing down. And in Colorado, the absence of Shedeur Sanders would hit even harder. He's not just their signal caller. He's their heartbeat, their face, the player who makes the Buffs must-watch television every single weekend. Without him, everything changes. The energy, the expectations, even the fan engagement. Coach Prime's entire narrative of resurgence and swagger could take a serious hit. Financially, the losses in media exposure and merchandise sales could reach millions. The ripple effect would go far beyond the locker room, shaking up college football's power rankings and maybe even reshaping playoff predictions overnight. That's how massive this could be. But there's also the human side to this story. These are young athletes under immense pressure, living under constant media surveillance, and carrying entire programs on their shoulders. If either Gabriel or Sanders did make a mistake, intentional or not, it would be a reminder of how easy it is to get caught in the gray areas of college sports. Supplements, recovery aids, and new training regimens are everywhere now, and even something minor can trigger a violation under NCAA rules. On the flip side, if this turns out to be a false alarm or a mix-up, the reputational damage might already be irreversible. Once a story like this catches fire online, it doesn't matter what the truth is. Public perception becomes its own monster. That's the dark side of the fame these players carry. They're not just competing on the field. They're fighting for their image, their brand, and their future every single day. Meanwhile, fans and analysts are dissecting every clue, every social media post, every body language detail in interviews to figure out what's real. Some fans swear they noticed nervous energy in the last few press conferences. Others say the program's media silence feels strategic, as if they're buying time to manage the narrative. And then there are the wild theories, claims of tampered tests, rival programs leaking information, or even external agendas trying to shake the balance of power in college football. It's crazy, but this is exactly how sports rumors evolve. They start as whispers and grow into storms. And right now, this storm is at full force. No one really knows where it's heading, but everyone's watching closely. Because if the truth drops and confirms even half of what's being said, it'll be one of the biggest sports bombshells in recent memory. What's fascinating is how both players' personalities play into the public reaction. Dillon Gabriel is the quiet, hard-working, no-drama guy, the type you'd never expect to see caught in something like this. That's why Oklahoma fans are rallying behind him, defending his name and demanding proof before judgment. Shedeur Sanders, on the other hand, is flamboyant, outspoken, and unapologetically confident, the kind of player who draws equal parts love and hate. So while some supporters are standing firm, others are quick to speculate, feeding into narratives about ego or excess. It's a tale of two quarterbacks with completely different energies, but now linked by the same scandal. And that contrast is part of what makes this story so magnetic. It's not just about football. It's about identity, perception, and how public figures are judged in moments of crisis. Everyone has an opinion, and no one wants to stay quiet. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Behind closed doors, you can bet the universities are working overtime. Legal teams are reviewing NCAA protocols, athletic directors are calling emergency meetings, and PR departments are crafting statements in case they need to go public. Coaches are trying to keep their teams focused, but that's nearly impossible when every player's phone is buzzing nonstop with headlines and speculation. This kind of distraction can derail entire seasons, and both programs know it. If they confirm the suspensions, they'll need to act fast to control the narrative. Maybe even release detailed explanations or test results to avoid being painted as reckless or dishonest. But if they deny it and it later proves true, the backlash would be catastrophic. It's a high-stakes game of timing and truth, and every hour that passes without clarity only increases the pressure on everyone involved. The calm before the storm feels unbearable. And yet, as dramatic as this story is, there's still a chance it all ends with a twist. Maybe the test results were misread. Maybe one or both players were using something over-the-counter that triggered a false positive. Maybe this is all just a rumor that spiraled out of control. Until the NCAA or the schools make an official statement, no one can say for sure. But whether it's confirmed or debunked, the damage is already done. The conversation has taken over. Every sports show, every podcast, every TikTok clip is talking about Gabriel and Sanders. And that's the irony. In a world where perception can become reality in seconds, the truth sometimes arrives too late to matter. So now, everyone waits. The fans, the teams, the media, all holding their breath, wondering if this is the start of a new scandal or just another chapter in college football's endless cycle of hype, rumor, and redemption. Beyond the immediate impact on Cleveland, Stefanski's resignation has prompted broader discussions about leadership, pressure, and career trajectories in the NFL, with commentators examining how high-stakes expectations can influence personal and professional decisions. The story has become a lens through which the dynamics of coaching in professional football are scrutinized, highlighting the tension between ambition, performance, and the human element behind leadership roles. Analysts debate whether Stefanski might pursue opportunities elsewhere, potentially in a less high-pressure environment or with greater autonomy, while others speculate that the timing indicates a deliberate strategic move aimed at positioning himself for future prospects while preserving his reputation. The narrative has also reignited discussions about coaching stability, organizational culture, and the delicate balance between innovation and continuity in the NFL, as teams navigate the challenges of maintaining competitive edge while managing internal dynamics. Fans, pundits, and insiders continue to dissect every angle, interpreting actions, statements, and past patterns to predict outcomes, turning the story into a multi-layered discussion that blends sports analysis with human psychology, ambition, and strategy. In this sense, Stefanski's resignation transcends a single franchise, becoming a case study in leadership, pressure, and the unpredictable nature of professional football at the highest level. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!